A little nervous. Wow. Best seat in the house up here. It's wonderful to see everyone tonight. Thank you for coming. And I think they can hear you backstage. A massive round of applause for the two best co-chairs of JEDx 2018, Tamar and Mitch. So for those who know the house, the house has always stood for, since day one, the importance of Jewish wisdom and values. However, not for the sake of the Jewish wisdom and values itself, but with the deep belief and conviction of their relevance that they have to everyday life choices, our aspirations, and our challenges. See, the reality is, over the years, JEDx has brought the true wisdom and depth of understanding into the modern day world to be able to appreciate how it can impact and elevate the decisions we make, the families we raise, and the lives that we ultimately lead. However, JEDx took on a slightly different tone. See, the reality is that there's tremendous wisdom, but there's also a tremendous understanding that ordinary people, when they use our Jewish values and wisdom, actually can start to become and do extraordinary things. And so in 2013, JEDx was born, standing for Jewish Ethics Defined. And our stage had individuals who inspired with their stories, passion, conviction. And to be quite honest, it went from 180 young professionals to rather easily engaging close to 1,000 people over a few years. However, this year we took a slight change. Every year we'd pick a theme, an inspiring theme. Be it choices, now or never, no compromises, the power of one individual. But we realized that the truth is the house was on a trajectory which started with an ability to engage 20, 30, 40 students. And with that engagement, the inspiration built to, like Mitch said, over 2,000 individual young professionals coming out for various purposes, reasons, classes, events, workshops. Hopefully find a shidduch also couldn't hurt. But then the question that we asked was, where does the inspiration lead? What's the point of inspiration? And with that, we realized that not only JEDx required a theme, it required a mission and a calling. And that calling is this year's theme, empowerment. So the question is, what does empowerment mean, and what are the speakers going to address this evening? So I got an understanding of empowerment, luckily, at Second Cup, just a few days ago. And it came to an understanding of why exactly my purchase from Canadian Tire for $19.99 of power jumper cables were the most valuable purchase I ever made. So I'm standing in Second Cup in line, getting my coffee. As I leave and go to the parking lot, I go to my car, and sure enough, Bueller. Sure enough, Gary, the guy who was in front of me, his car wasn't working. And we looked around the plaza, and it just so happened that I was the only one around that actually happened to have jumper cables. And for the 7th time, not once on my own car, did I pull out my jumper cables. Gary picked up his kid on time, I hope, and got them to school. Now, chances are Gary was on the road towards having probably a horrible day. His kid, possibly late, his meetings, possibly missed, all because of my jumper cables. See, I thought the jumper cables were important for me, but empowerment was the realization that I actually have literally the power in my car to give to somebody else. And I can tell you that felt great, and it made a difference. Empowerment is about taking the energy and the spark that each and every one of us have and realize that we can empower others with it. But it doesn't only help others. See, empowerment also is a key towards realizing that the more that we share with others, the greater our empowerment is. I'm hoping the map behind me doesn't need an introduction. Not Uganda. Up here we have the 1, 2, 3, Kinneret. Down here we have the Dead Sea, Yam HaMelech. Now, if we know about them, they're connected also by a little river called the Jordan River. Same waters coming between the both of them. However, for those who have ever been to the Kinneret's a beautiful body of water, which has vegetation, fish. You can dive in the water with your eyes open. And there's a lot of life that's in and being given from that body of water. The Dead Sea, there's a reason why it's called that. Nothing grows in the Dead Sea. Ironically, they're both from the same body of water, from the Jordan River. So I once heard that perhaps maybe the message is that just like that water of the Jordan River comes into the Kinneret's strength is that it takes that water and then it passes it forward to something else. The Dead Sea just holds on to that water. And because it holds on to what its gift is and its power, eventually it becomes dead. And therefore, empowerment isn't only about the impact we can make in others. It's the realization that when we take the opportunity to not only have a theme of empowerment, but we actually live lives of empowerment, that ultimately the greatest that we have to offer this world is still yet to come. So this evening, JEDx is about closing perhaps maybe what we'd call textbooks and opening up what I like to call text people. People who don't only study texts, but who resonate deeply and live the lessons in their daily lives. We are blessed on this stage to have 4 remarkable human beings from around the world who've taken out their time specifically to share their stories and empower each and every one of us with the empowerment that they live their lives. So to get it started, I have the honor to go ahead and introduce our first speaker. Now, to be honest, Ethan, I'm sorry, I've never seen Survivor before. Any of them. But what really sold me on bringing Ethan out this year was everybody that I spoke to said Ethan was the one individual who they remember winning Survivor, not because of the strategy, not because of backstabbing, but he simply was just a good guy with great values who won because he should have won. So please put your hands together as I welcome Ethan, an individual I can actually hug on stage, to be our first speaker this evening. Let the evening begin. Ethan Zahn.
Thank you.